Hello and welcome to the Appleby Hour. I'm Appleby, and it looks like Biden might drop out again. You know, I thought for sure. I mean, like I said, I had a gut feeling after the Trump assassination attempt. I don't know. I just all the Democratic dissenters that were coming out and saying, "Oh, Biden's too old. He's got to drop out. He can't win." All of that was like snuffed out. Shh, we can't say that. That's done, And I thought for sure that was going to be the way it was. It was going to stick around, and we weren't going to be able to discuss replacing Biden. It was totally off the table. But today, earlier today, more Democratic voices came out in saying that Biden should drop out. There were closed door meetings, and apparently they didn't go so well for Joe. So things are kind of looking up again. And then Joe, so those meetings happen. Joe says, if I have a medical condition, I'll drop out. And then, like 4 hours later, he tests positive for COVID. So it seems like this might actually be happening, which is kind of why I want to get my thoughts out on it. After the Trump shooting, I was just so dejected and depressed. It felt like we're just handing the election over to Trump. It's over, right? And then, all that stuff I just mentioned happened. The polls have come out, and it doesn't seem like there's been that much of a nudge, although it is still early. And I don't know, polls are weird these days. It's hard to tell. It's hard to tell since 2016 just how accurate polling is anymore. There's been quite a few, whatever. It's still a useful tool, worth looking at. But oh my God, man, I was on the floor. And then I don't know. I heard the news. Joe has COVID, and it just immediately lifted my spirits. My fiance and I, we made ourselves a pizza and poured ourselves some drinks, and we celebrated. We're like, yes, like drop out or die already, Joe, because you cannot win. Now, what do we think is going to happen after that? Kamala Harris is an option. I am trying to think of the possibilities unburdened by what has been. What could be unburdened by what has been. That's her catchphrase. And I'm sure that it's going to go over super well in a debate setting. But I don't see it. I'm really hoping for a crazy fast open convention. That would make me feel things. I don't know. I'm just suddenly there's life back in Democratic politics. Maybe. We'll have to see what happens. But it kind of again, I guess my gut has steered me wrong. But I think if the shooter had been a Democrat, then maybe it kind of would be over. But the fact that he was not a Democrat, just some like incel weirdo, like he's a registered Republican, but who knows? He hasn't like. It really seems like maybe he was just doing like suicide by Secret Service. Apparently, he looked up like major depressive disorder before he was looking up like pictures of the two candidates and their schedules and stuff. They finally got into his phone. So suicide by Secret Service. I gotta say it's kind of an original one. I don't think I've seen that before. And the fact that it was that, and it's kind of so, I don't want to say apolitical because it wasn't an assassination attempt on a president, but sort of like non-aligned, non-partisan, I don't know, like just idiosyncratic and weird. I think that might be the reason that we're still going forward with this. It was like the whole conversation paused for a second. Everybody's like, Joe's too old. Joe can't do this. We need to get rid of Joe. And then the shooting happened, and everybody's like, in the Democratic Party, oh shit. Was it one of ours? It wasn't one of ours. He's a registered Republican? What? This is me. Okay, whatever. Joe's too old. Okay, let's resume the conversation. Which I'm so glad. I was not expecting. I thought that pause was the end. And, maybe that was just some negative, I saw that threat, and I'm like, it's here, isn't it? It's over. Nope, not over. I don't know. I'm feeling good. And I think you ought to feel good too. It could be much, much worse. And maybe it still will be, you know. Joe said, and I'll leave it with this, but Joe said, as long as he tried his goodest, even if Trump beat him, he'd feel all right. And like, that is not what it's about, Joe. That's not what it's about. But in a strange way, I kind of feel what he's saying. Not for him, obviously, but right now I feel like we're just handing the election to Trump if Joe continues to run. Joe will not be our next president. Again, like, I don't want to say anything definitive because maybe there's a path I don't see for Joe, and he's walking that path. But I kind of doubt it. It does not look like that right now. I do not believe Joe will be our next president. So if the Democrats want to win, they got to put up not Joe, whoever that is. Now, obviously, I'm hoping for a Democratic primary, but whatever. But if we had a primary, even if we had Kamala, if we lost, at least I'd feel like we tried. I mean, how depressing and just soul-crushing, just emptying is it that Trump was going to win? Like, up until, like, yesterday, it seemed like Trump was going to win, and we weren't even going to try to stop him. Yeah, so Biden came out, he said he had COVID, he canceled a bunch of events, and maybe he'll drop out. Maybe he will finally drop out. You know what to do. Do the comments, like, share, subscribe. I don't know. Thank you for watching.